There isn't much left between the guys and the race. Final tyre weaving, tyre warming. Settling the nerves. We're waiting for the leader to cross the start line. That is the beginning of our race. We won't see him leap ahead at a random time. Right, the field are lined up 2 by 2. Really tightly packed here. Really tense moment for the guys. And look out for the Talisman Supra hitting the start finish line. And we're green. The field could not be more packed in the top 4. There's already a slight trailing gap to P5 Egerlanders. Not slow off the mark, but whoa, the field already separated there. That could play a part in the race. Into turn 1, straight up the hill, turn 2. Great start from T5 Black. Composed, but not being given an inch by Swoil. Swoil, I think, sensing this is the moment. We've got enough. It's Blackbird, he's recovered it well. I feared for his race at that point. Let's see if we can just see what happened there. Oh, he's launched over the curb. Worst feeling, but I have to say, recovering that, showing some real skill there, and we're straight back in the action. What is going on back here? We've got midfield fighting Fearpennon, fiercely contested by Abramson here. Into the downhill right-hander, joining the complex by the sea here. And that death chicane is already looming. Let's head back to the leaders. It's Black with Swoil in close pursuit. Kettenen not dropping them. Far too close to my liking. I saw a spark or two from Egerlanders. I think we've lost a driver from the top 4. Is it West? If anyone's spotted who dropped out of the top 4 there, I think we're a driver down. Do you know what? That was Blackbird. That was the incident we saw at the start. I'm catching up with myself. So Black takes the first lap, leading the field, but Swoil is not waiting around here. Now if we can see the tyre compound he's running, he's on the mediums right now. It's possible he's going to sit and patiently wait here and, you know, use this as a fuel saving opportunity. However, he is not going to be giving Black an easy ride, I don't think. In fact, he can't afford to, because look at Kettenen here, shadowing every move from the 2 lead cars. We've got a little bit of a breakaway here. I'm just wondering if they've got a pace edge over Egerlanders, who, when we look at compounds, is also on the medium. So I believe the top guys must start on the medium tyre, which is going to make it interesting, because I think it keeps the rest of the field close on strategy. We've seen our first break. Swoil managing to force just wide in the sharp right-hander, and he's not lost momentum, but that is Swoil down and out of the chicane. Can we get on board with him here to see what happened? Awful moment from there. He's got the lead. Fantastic move. Really opportunistic. The top 8 are on mediums. Thank you. And it's the inside. Oh, bad luck for Swoil. I think he didn't spin and he's kept his momentum. He may end up with a little damage here. Yeah, he's picked up cosmetic damage. And he's straight in the pits. Not the plan for Swoil. He's now going to be on recovery drive. Let's just see. It's onto the super softs. Super aggressive strategy now. All he can do is sprint. Back to the head of the field. As ever. And we've seen Kettenen take the lead. I don't know if I can show you what happened there. It looked like a lovely move into turn 1 if it wasn't already done at the back end of lap 3. Nicely done. Now the 2 are teammates here, so they are battling, but I think it's unlikely we're going to see those guys jeopardize each other's races. At least I hope I'm right in saying that. So the top 8 starters as Smunkish kindly told me, they must start on the medium tyres. That gives an awesome opportunity for the midfield and rear runners to make a sort of sprint start and get involved. Let's step back a little here because we've got SSGr3 under pretty strong pressure once again from Abramson. We saw this last race. He is a relentless presence behind whoever he's following. But watch out, because Fiopennen, winner of the last round and very strong contender at this race. Great move into the final corner, keeps it tidy, keeps it tight. Now just needs to contain the exit, and actually that's opened the door for a razor there. The game actually hasn't picked this up. Yeah, there we go. Side by side into lap 5. You would not know there are nearly, what, 34, 33 laps to go. This is like a 6-lap sprint. Really respectful driving. Great defending there from Abramson. Really looked like the Lamborghinis had the advantage there, and he has kept himself brilliantly placed there. And look at the train of cars following. Eraser, Tornroth, Chio. Difficult to know where to look. The FT1, another strong runner here. Interesting to see how it comes through in the race. Chio, another talisman driving there. Looks like he's getting in a battle with P11, Schlafrund. And then a quick check back. So we have got a break back to Gravender, or Grawnder. Slayers. Swoyle, who's we know now is on the recovery after that really tricky move through the death chicane. The first victim. And that's Blackbird still recovering as well from the early off lap 1. Hello Metalhead, welcome to the room. Thank you for hosting. You've joined us at the start of lap 6 at Dragon Trail Seaside. Now, Kettinen already looks like he might just be breaking the slipstream of T5 Black here. Now, whether that is teammates looking to give each other space, or whether that is just the effect of ballast on the cars, I may have to check that for you. So T5 Black is carrying 4% extra weight, which is gonna really impact his straight line speed and general kind of confidence in the car through the corners. Now Kettinen, I cannot see listed with ballast, so I think that's what we're seeing happening now. The effect of that 4 or so % weight really tough on the car up the hill. So if you've just joined us, the leading cars in this race have already made pretty substantial changes and moves. We've seen Egerlanders move forward to P3 already. He's on an absolute charge here. And now he's in the slipstream of T5 Black. Might just see an attack mounting here. See if I can compare the tyres. Good aggressive move through the death chicane. That's the only way to stay quick. He is running on the medium tyres. Likewise, all the front runners must start on the mediums. So strategically, they're all in a very similar place at the moment. Let's just step back here, because SSGr3 here looks like a bit of a threat coming in on Egerlanders, as Egerlanders puts his focus on T5 Black in second. Our pole sitter sitting back in second, so maybe not the dream start there for T5, but it is his teammate ahead, so you never know. There could be a bit of team tactics coming in later in the race. Let's find out. So Black leading a chain of pretty feisty looking Swedish fellas in very fast cars. It looks like an all Supra podium at the moment, but it's too early to say whether that's going to be the race result. Here we go, the first sign of an attack from SSGr3 there. He's got a great run up the hill, but there really isn't room for 2 cars through that section. So really, your first overtaking opportunity is a good run down the hill. Is this 3 cars wide? Egerlanders is busy. He's made the move. And he's made it stick. Great aggressive play from Egerlanders, but the exit compromised. We're going to see Black keep his position. Great driving from all of these guys. But look at this, West with a brilliant run through the chicane. And all of a sudden, SSGr3 goes from being the attacker to being under huge pressure from West. West with the outside move surely doesn't make that stick, but can he get the cutback onto the straight? Let's stay with this battle as the cars power up the hill over the line. Laps are flying by here. It is a short, well, relatively short lap, like 1 minute 30s and 40s. It's close between West and SSGr3, but I can't see the move happening there. Quick check back, so the leader settling down now. Kettinen really showing a strong run here. And Egerlanders is squirming under brakes. Let's go on board quickly. I'll try and backtrack through the field soon, but there's so much going on up here. It's difficult to take our eyes off it. Patiently trying to get a run up the hill. Putting T5 Black into a less than ideal defensive situation, and all the while we're going to see Kettinen extending a lead, which may prove a huge advantage towards the end of this race if it puts him in clean air. Oh, it's slightly deep from Egerlanders. Difficult to break, and that is because he's under attack here from SSGr3, who I think has made it stick. SSGr3, from being under pressure by West, recovered this lap and has put himself in 3rd position. Brilliant move there. I don't know if I can get that move for you on cameras. Just off camera, we missed it by a couple of seconds, but right, the first pit stops are happening, so that is Kettinen, T5, Egerlanders. They're getting off those medium tyres. Fuel is coming down a bit, but they've got a couple of laps of fuel left, so that leaves SSGr3 leading the field for now, but we know that that will shake up with pit stops. West keeping the pressure on. Now is their opportunity to get some clean air and maybe not hold each other up too much while the leaders are back in traffic. Eraser now up to 3rd. I'm pretty sure he's been making a storming run through the field here. Now, we know he's a couple of places up through pit stops, but that's a pretty remarkable run here from the TRL driver. Look out for this guy already onto West. Is he on an aggressive tyre compound now? He's on the softs. And West with the damage. Has he had a coming together there with SSGr3, or did he just make a mistake? Either way, that's put him right into the clutches here. And Eraser does not hang about. Quick check then, is SSGr3 showing damage? Not at all. So maybe it was a mistake from West that's just made that move possible by Eraser. Eraser blasting out there with the Lamborghini. No intention of giving an inch to West now. Looks like he's going to defend that position. So let's look back in the field a little. Spoil coming through after that early meet with the death chicane. Never ideal. Wouldn't wish it on anyone. And we're seeing some of the guys further back in the field move forward as the pit stops take place, running longer into the race. That'll be interesting to see. Slight contact there with the Eraser and West. Are they showing damage, or was it minor? I think they've gotten away with it. Little flash of the lights there from West. Is that just to say sorry, mate? We've had enough. We've had enough. I'm going to try and catch it for you. I think it's SSGr3. Can we catch it? So here we go, in clean air. unforced error if that's the case. Is it the curb? The curb! 2 wheels, and that is pretty much the only outcome there. Really unlucky from SSGr3. He will be a little bit disappointed with that, especially as he wasn't challenged. Unlucky there. Looks like he may not be too badly damaged from it, if at all. So, fingers crossed for him. But what that has done is put him under incredible pressure, and we're seeing Swoyle trying to make the move through the chicane. Let's stick with it into the death chicane. Oh, hold your breath every time, but that was a really tidy run. Are we going to see Swoyle with the move? Let's keep an eye out on the final corner. Battle ahead. West, I think, and Razor still side by side. All the while, P7 and 8, P7 especially Kettinen, they might be gaining ground on this group, because this group have not been in clean air. West now under pressure again, but this time from Schlaffen, who isn't rushing to make the move. Maybe looks like, again, picking his moment, trying not to slow the two of them down. So let's watch how these file out. I think Kettinen is still our effective race leader. West, however, yet to pit. Surely those tyres. He's done really well on those tyres, but the fuel can't last much longer. So looking out for a pit stop from West here. Good evening, Tom. Good evening, Robbins. It's been a pretty lively race so far. If I've got a voice by the end of it, I'm going to be staggered. And Schlaffen showing pace here. Possibly carrying less ballast than West, so now that he's in the tow, not taking too much work to make the move there. I think this is more about making the most of clean air before he has to pit. Let's see if these guys are on a similar strategy. Swoyle still on recovery drive. He was the first unfortunate driver to nail that chicane and get stopped in his tracks. He did carry on with limited damage, even though still not great for his race. Great little fight for the top 3 here. Let's see who is pitting. It's like Swoyle into the pits. Are they all in the pits? That's 3 in the pits. Do they all fit? Oh, 2 by 2. I wouldn't fancy it. Welcome everyone if you've just joined. We're in the Swedish Racing League round 5 at Dragon Trail Seaside. We're seeing Kettinen with a pretty solid and dominant performance so far. He's made the most of not battling once he's got clean air. He did not start on pole. He's had to fight from, I think, the 2nd row here to make this work. Now he'll be pleased to know his teammate, talisman teammate here, is the next car on the road. So the pressure really not quite as strong as you'd expect, maybe from a rival team. Now look out for Abramson. I don't know if he's pitted. It looks like he's done 1 stop and refueled onto the soft. But this guy is relentlessly pressuring whoever he's following. So let's see if he's got that same pace once he's in clear air. Oh, that's a very bold run there through Chio. Thanks so much for the bits, MSX. Appreciate the channel support. Thank you. I may I may try and convert bits into voice power if I can. Thank you so much, MSX. That's really cool of you. Thanks for supporting the stream. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is a great race to watch. It's really, really enjoyable to try and track it. I have been expressing interest at co-commentators in future events as well, so I'll keep you updated with progress on that. I am talking to people about it. Right, Eraser P5 after starting, I think, down near a 9th or 10th. I can't tell you for sure now. My memory can't retain this stuff. But keep an eye on this guy. I think we're seeing a huge progression through the field. In fact, let me check the qualifying times for you briefly. Eraser P11 on the start grid. That's a pretty remarkable run there. Fair play. That Lamborghini maybe not the strongest manufacturer at this circuit. I've got a sneaky feeling the Supra's got the edge here just by the early pace of these guys. They are storming away. Again, clear air as the two Supras rise through the S's. We're at Dragon Trail Seaside. It is a pretty spectacular circuit. It's a great one to watch, actually. I'm struggling to spot all the action. There's so much going on here. So Abramson holding third at the moment. I have a sneaky suspicion that strategies will mean he is not third on the road overall. I think there's a couple of other runners deeper in the field, like Egerlanders, who, if they haven't made mistakes off camera, maybe will come through later in the race. Chio, good run in fourth at the moment. Again, waiting to see how strategy plays out. We're looking here at the push by a Razor, who I think before long is going to be challenging Chio. He's in the slip. It's only half a second. We're going to come back to that battle pretty shortly, I think. Quick check further back. So West, again, a front runner who's coming back through after pit stops. Jamal, eat a knob of butter. Is that a genuine recommendation? Welcome, ORS. Thanks for joining us again, dude. So, West was battling away before pit stops, and it looks like he's in the middle of a battle pack again now. The guy seems to be in all the action at the moment. Egerlanders and Swoyle with the battle. Egerlanders takes the defensive inside into turn 1, immediately shift right up the hill, turn 2. Car goes light, wants to go sideways, especially in that Supra. But the Lambo not much better off in that situation, being a mid-engined beast. One of the livelier cars in the Group 3, that Lambo. But I have to say, the guys look like they're reining it in brilliantly here. I can only envy the control they're showing on this car. Right, it looks like a battle's developing here for P8. Sorry, P9. Swoyle with a great run down the hill. Is he going to choose this moment? Dives out the last minute. Beautifully timed. Lovely move. He needs to get the exit. The wide line is the faster exit, but he has beautifully done that. That was worthy of a replay. Let's try the onboard from Egerlanders. Gets the braking. Doesn't fight too hard, but last minute realises that shutting the door is not an option. Great move from Swoyle. Battling for currently the bottom of the top 10, but let's see how that shakes out. Kettenen and Black still dominating the head of the field. Whether strategies will bring them back, we're going to have to wait and see, but I've got a sneaky feeling this is a strong, strong outing for those Talisman Supras. Chio now making good ground. I'll say it again, I think he might owe a pit stop. He's on the Super Softs, so we may see him drop back in the next stop, but that little mistake is going to invite a Razor in here. You can't make the move there, but can you make it into the sharp right-hander? Not quite a hairpin, but it feels like a hairpin when you're driving it. It's a slow, probably one of the slower corners on the circuit, bar the second hairpin. Great, down the dip, sweeping left-hander, immediately transitioning right. Uphill, car loses balance, desperately wants to run wide here. All three cars over the curb. Any of them, I fear, could lose it here. Let's quickly go on board with the attacking car, a Razor. And, oh, has he gone in too deep? Beautifully held. I think, potentially, Chio gave him a little break there and saw the danger coming. Can we see it from his point of view? I had fears of a Mercedes joining the wall there. Goes in under braking and just beautifully stopped. I have to say, well done, Razor. Code Brown tonight. Not too many more of them, please, guys. Let's get out of replay mode. That'll confuse everyone. That was a move, as Jamal put it. That was a move. That was move of the race so far. Although, as you can tell by the squeal in my voice then, I thought we were going to see our first huge incident. And merely 2 or 3 corners later, a Razor makes it stick on the Mercedes of Abramson, who's shown strongly so far. We have brown pants confirmed in the chat. UDC requesting new pants, please. Not again, says Metalhead. We can't take any more of this. Wow, you can't deny it, guys. Dragon Trail is bringing a flipping awesome race, and these guys really towing that line between respectful and aggressive moves. Really good to watch. It's great to see this. It's the sort of thing we wish the FIA races were made of. Just a quick flick through the field now. Let's give some airtime to the field just while we get a little closer to half the race gone. We're not quite there yet. So Tornroth, one of the top 10 contenders in the championship, I believe, if I remember correctly. He's having a good run here in the FT1. The FT1 not highly represented in this top split. This is the A lobby of 3 lobbies in the series, so you're seeing pretty much the cream of the crop. And that cream, I assure you, was supplied from Swedish cows. West still keeping the pace in the battle pack. Got a feeling this guy's going to come forward later in the race. Look out as the pit stops shift. I believe he was a top 4 or 5 runner early on, so hopefully hasn't lost ground and is merely biding his time before everything shakes out. However, he's on the super softs. Is he losing time in the midfield on slower runners, you know, who are serving out their other tyre compounds? Soil, as we said, he's still kind of on recovery drive. What's encouraging is he's latched onto the back of West, so one of those guys is either gaining immense ground or we're seeing West drop back here. Egerlanders, another front runner who I believe through the pit stop cycles we'll see move forward later in the race. Now, Lasazarja, we saw him go off before, and I think now really is just trying to make up the places that he can, and he's not hanging about. Wondering here if he's on a strong tyre compound. He is on the super softs. But so is Egerlanders. They're in a fair battle here. That was a great move in which case. That Mercedes, it's a strong runner in the series. That and the Supra, they seem to put up a really, really good fight. Right, quick update. So Kettenen off the super softs into the pits. T5 Black, both getting those super soft tyres off. Both needing a refuel. So that's promoted for the first time a Razor in the lead, who, thanks to his moves through the field, gets some clear air, but surprise, surprise, Abramson is tracking him. And I think we've got nearly 5 wide into turn 1. That can't possibly work. The teammates side by side, Chio and Kettenen. Is Chio going to yield? There's slight contact with Kettenen. He might not have even known the situation was there, but Swoyle, making the most of the confusion, takes a cheeky place and puts Chio back. What an outcome there. I can't even replay that. I'm just so conscious of something happening at the moment. I'm doing well, thank you for asking. I'm trying to hold on to my voice. Sparks is in the room. Lamborghini currently putting a shout for the win, but I think a Razor may drop back through his next pit stop, but how much ground can he make now he's in the clean air? Abramson is not letting him go. It seems to be his trait here. Once he latches onto the fast guy in front, he doesn't let it slip. Great run through the chicane. I wondered if the curb would send him into the wall, but oh, that's 4 cars nearly dying at once. All of them thankfully making it through. Seriously guys, keep it together here. We've still got more than half the race to go. It looks like a move from Kettenen. He's not waiting here. He needs to make the move forward. The longer he battles, the more of the lead he loses that he built up before. He was 6 or so seconds clear when we last checked. Now that was a pit stop, I think, from Abramson, who's dropped out of the standings. Let's see where he comes out. Kettenen soaking up pressure, but pretty respectful driving. I think Wes finally showing that he's back in the top 5 where I thought he would be. What I want to see is what Erase is going to do now. He's got clean air. He started in, I think, 11th, guys. I need to check that again for you. I don't want to give you rubbish information. P11 on the grid. Now, he, I'm sure, owes a pit stop. We're looking at low fuel, super softs, which are definitely wearing down. Whereas we've got fresh super softs of Kettenen and sort of early stint from West. Maybe a half stint there as the tyre wear starts to show. Difficult to track all of these guys. We're seeing Tornroth bringing that FT1 forward. Again, possibly further forward than he really stands in the race until it shakes out. Now we're seeing Swoyle after, if you weren't here earlier, he was the first to plant his face into that chicane. And he did so with authority. So the rest of this race, I think we're going to see a pretty aggressive play of Swoyle trying to recover that front row start. Now I'm wondering, has something happened to T5, or is his strategy just bringing him a little further back? We may have missed an incident, or we're finding that he is just a stop ahead of the field, and again he'll shake out a little later on if we're let's keep an eye on that. Egerlanders as well, I expect it to be further forward. Maybe these guys are on strategies that haven't come to the front yet. I don't know if there's a BMW in the field, to be brutally honest. If there is, let's have a cycle through. Let's see what everybody's up to. Let's give some screen time to these guys. Blackbird, a front runner early on, but we saw him mount this curb in a huge way and send himself wide. Unfortunately, that kind of set him back in the standings. Schlafund also in the Supra, different team. Bright green, distinct paint job there. You can't miss it. Abramson, so after pit stops, he's still just outside the top 10. I think we'll see him place quite well if he carries on here. Tormroth, having possibly made a pit stop, hopefully not suffering damage or an incident. Looks like he's on fresh tyres, fresh boots. Yeah, maybe the BMW is just not a popular choice in this top split. It looks like the choice of cars is between the FT1, the Supra. You could argue there are BMWs in the race, if you catch my drift. Now, Veerpennen, 1 minute and 28 off the field. I think we've missed something huge here. And I'm afraid to say, I think Veerpennen is kind of in a race of his own at the moment. There's a lot of damage on that car. Has he been taken by the death chicane? He'll probably thank me for not airing whatever's happened. Or has he just got involved in a huge incident? Maybe after the race he'll let me know. Sorry to see it. He's a front runner. He was our race winner. That's how much we could have been seeing from that guy. So something huge has happened. Hey Jack, thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. We are over half the race gone. 38 laps. Dragon Trail Seaside. And the racing has been relentless. This is the first sign of space I've seen on track. Now, Kettenen with a 2.3 second lead onto West. It sounded like a sideways moment off camera there. Swoyle a mere 0.8 behind. Now, T5 Black certainly lost a bit of time here. He's now nearly 9 seconds back off the lead. That was 6 seconds earlier. That could just be the shakeout of pit stops, running him into traffic, or maybe a different fuel strategy that's going to take him further in the race. Impossible to predict these guys, I've got to be honest. PR on fire. Yeah, not in the series, I don't believe. If he was, I think we could bet he'd be among these guys at least. So Swoyle with an awesome race recovery at the moment. We did see him suffer early. However, this guy owes a pit stop. West, similar part of his race, slightly more fuel. Whereas Kettenen, plenty of fuel, plenty of tyres left. This guy is actually streaks ahead, and I think we're looking at the effective P2 is T5 Black once P2 and 3 take their pit stops. Now we're seeing Egerlanders come back through the field, as I'd expected. I'm still hoping that because he's early on his strategy, this is actually quite true to his race pace and he hasn't been caught in an incident. I think he could be a contender here for a fight towards the end. Now the sister BWT Mercedes, Gravender, showing a good run. He is late in a pit cycle, so we may see him fold back into the field shortly. Now a Razor, this was getting interesting before. A Razor, a definite riser through the field. As some of these lead guys take pit stops, I think we need to check where he shakes out. Yeah, so this is the for question in chat is if you have to race the same car. This is a season car. Yeah, you're going to see these guys racing these cars throughout the race season. We are on race 5 and this is the second broadcast. We're seeing a Razor soaking up the pressure of Blackbird. Blackbird not diving into the final turn. It isn't really the widest corner to make a move unless you've got the braking done nice and early. The corner speed there means if you're not alongside in the braking zone, you're better off waiting. And I think that's what he's doing. He's maybe banking on a run into turn 1. Will a Razor go defensive? He has. He's just gone defensive. Actually caught Blackbird by surprise a little there. Possibly a bit late in deciding which lane they were going to take. Oh, no, I think that's Blackbird just showing his frustration. Really keen to make a move. Let's find out what tyres they're on. Is he frustrated by being on faster tyres? No. He's running older tyres at the moment than a Razor, so really he's benefiting hugely from the tow of this Lamborghini. Now, assuming there's no incidents ahead, I can see one close battle ahead, which is Egerlander's. Starting to put pressure maybe here on T5 Black. This could be P2 and P3 in the race. As I was suggesting earlier, I think Egerlanders might be one to watch. He seems to have raw pace as the race goes on. We saw him rise to 3rd last week at the infield Blue Moon track. Oh, sideways through the chicane. Don't do that too many times, mate. We've already used our brown pants in this race. We don't all have spare pairs. Thank you very much. Tornroth rounding out the top 9. Great run so far, and I think we'll be feeling good. Lance Azaja, I think, possibly suffering from that what's the word? Unprovoked error, I guess, early on. But now focusing, I think, on recovering his drive. Only 26 seconds off the lead. It's not a huge gap. There's still a fair way to go here. That's a pit stop for Gravender. He's going to drop back. Swoyle, I did wonder if the move was coming. He's dipped his nose into turn 1. Great late braking. That Lamborghini looks like it's got some serious stopping power. Yeah, we're getting requests in chat. Please stop the brown pants moment. None of us can afford a new wardrobe at the moment. Thank you very much. Great move from Swoyle. Great to see it. The Lamborghini showing real prowess under braking. Quick check through the latter half of the field. So Schlafund, consistent race, and I believe Gravender and Schlafund have kind of consistently been running at a pace. Great for them to have their own battles going on further back in the field. Chio kind of in a bit of a no man's land right now. I'm not sure if his strategy has just put him way off his competitors. So fresh tyres on these guys, but a lot of fuel. Lower fuel here for Chio. I'm starting to wonder if he's lost some ground in the latter half of the race here. Let's find out. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Thank you so much for the follow. Thanks for joining, and I hope you're enjoying the race. Visto FX, thank you. And as mentioned before, our previous race winner clearly coming into some trouble. Either was it the death chicane, was it an incident with another driver? We might find out after the race if something's happened and whether there's any overhanging penalties. But Fia Pinnon really just in a league of his own here, trying to recover at the back. He's possibly, you know, lapping at leader pace. We know he isn't slow. Now, fastest lap and clear leader Kettonen. Really impressive display. I'm staggered by the progress this guy's made. If I have a quick check back on the championship, Kettinen P6 currently. His closest battler in 5th is Abramson. If we bring you a quick split screen here so you can see what I'm talking about. So below these top 5 is Kettinen with 378 points. Abramson in 5th with 401. So the way we're going, Abramson's going to need to move up as best he can from that 6th place to avoid being displaced in the top 5. Then we've got Chio currently in 4th in the championship. He's running quite a way back in the standings. This could really shake things up. West 3rd in the championship, currently on the road. Where is West? West is down in 10th. Let's see if he's just a pit stop ahead of the field or whether we have seen more drama. He's on fresh tyres. He's on a lot of fuel here. I think look out for West in the latter stages of this race. Now that looks like just a lap down on Vierpinen there. Fairly clean by the looks of it. Now Egeland is promoted to 3rd. His current championship standing is 8th, so he's also keen to move forward. So this is fascinating. We've got Egelanders ahead of the championship leader Eraser. T5 Black currently in the mix. So our 2 championship leaders, Eraser, T5 Black, are both up there at the moment. But Egelanders and Kettinen really shaking up the points. And where's Blackbird? Blackbird outside the top 10 in the championship, I believe. He's down in 22nd in the championship. So really interesting change of pace here. You can see a huge jump from Blackbird. Now I believe Blackbird was disconnected from the last race, so he'll be trying to make ground. We've got yellow flags. I can see yellow flags. I can't see why. No obvious incident. What happened there at the chicane? Have we got damage? Nothing wrong with Kettinen. If you've missed it, I can only apologise. We've got a pitting runner here. No idea whatsoever what the yellow flags were. If anyone spotted it, let me know in chat. We're running out of pants colours in chat. We'll do our best to keep it clean from now on. So Kettinen, lap 27. Just under 12 laps, I think that is to go. Including the lap we're on. Egeland is now running in clean air in 2nd. Now we've seen the pit stop from T5 Black. Is Egelanders, he's due a pit stop as well, so we should see him file out close to T5. I'd love to see how that shakes out. So let's cycle down. Eraser, clean air, running in 3rd. Not due a pit stop just yet. So again, how is his strategy and Egelanders going to come together? I've got a feeling this is going to get close between the now and the last sort of 5 or 6 laps. Blackbird with a good run, but surprise, surprise, Abramson not giving him a second of breathing space. Looks like the more aggressive of the 2 cars, or we're just seeing that this driver is super comfortable in that awkward, dirty air situation. Oh, and I've said that. That's a huge hit on the chicane. It's going to catch us all once. Hate to see it. Abramson, I'm afraid I gave you a compliment and I've sent you into the wall. That's engine damage, that's body damage. We're gonna see a pit stop surely now from what was a top 5 runner. That could really affect his race. That's going to be a huge change in the runnings. Bad luck for that boy. I'm sorry for saying he was doing well. I'll never do it again. The commentator's curse has hit us hard. I'll put the check in the post for his damage repairs immediately. So that's left Eraser out in front. Now Kettinen, I'm assuming, but don't know, has just made a pit stop. He's got fresh fuel in tyres. So what we're really seeing is the leader hunting down a car that owes a pit stop at the moment. So our effective leader, although he's second on the road, is still Kettenen. Interesting to see if Eraser is going to make it difficult for him, or whether the two are not going to affect each other's races. Sometimes smarter not to mess each other's strategies up. Quick check back here, because I can see a tow of cars. Tornroth currently in third, maybe owes a pit stop at the moment. So let's see how the coming laps kind of shape that. Swoyle in fourth. I've got a feeling this guy is charging back through the order, but again, I'm not sure how much time he owes in pit stops. West back on the rise to the front of the grid. That's where he was at the start. It's where he's been when pit stops haven't sent him further back. So I think we're looking at a potential podium here. Really close battling. Now, okay, there we go. That is the pit stop for Tornroth. Not surprised to see it. So that puts Swoyle into third, West into fourth, Lassazaja there. Now he's back up to fifth. Again, we won't know until the next few laps whether that is fifth on the road. I think looking at fuel and tyres, he's got another stop to do. Is that the same for these guys? These guys look a lot more like they're fueled to the end. So I think Swoyle, if he's recovered as much as I think he has here, has made a pretty impressive run from what effectively was a drop to the back of the field. So brilliant recovery there. Egerlanders, another podium shout in this race. I think we'll see him at least rise up to fifth with pit stops, but T5, who's pitted, again cycling through the field, he's now behind Egerlanders. I think that could be a change in the pit stops. Don't quote me on it yet, but I think you might be seeing T5 Black dropping behind Egerlanders for the first time in the race on the road. So we've got racing softs with fuel to the end, I believe. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Lenjo, thank you. Ah, but it's a super soft run. So look out in the last 4 or 5 laps as those super softs lose the edge on Egerlander's car, and Black maybe with a chance to come back on slightly longer life tyres in the softs. Now Eraser's pitted. That'll be his last stop. Let's see where he shakes out with fuel, tyres and position. Crucial point in the race now. So it looks like a P6. Has he got the run though? Slightly confused by what I'm seeing. Okay, the Lamborghini must be Vierpennen a lap down. I could not work out why there was a Lamborghini ahead. I think that's Vierpennen, who is not currently in contention for this. So it looks like he's going to let his teammate go, hopefully, without too much stress. We'll come back to it, because Swoyle at the moment, running second, has he got the strategy down? What he hasn't got is tyres that look healthy. He may need to drop by the pits for tyres, or is Swoyle going to try and hold those super softs out for another, well, effectively 8.5 laps? That's a big stint. Now, I don't want to be too cynical, but I do think those tyres are going to need a top up. If Swoyle can make this work though, fair play to him. Great run from West, possibly too hot there on the curb. As soon as the car gets unbalanced, there really isn't much you can do through that chicane. Thanks so much for joining us. We're into the 8 final laps of a 38 lap race. This is Dragon Trail Seaside. Probably the iconic Gran Turismo sport track, if I dare say it. Especially in terms of fictional tracks, this one seems to bring out some of the best racing action. I've got to give it that. It is by no means my favourite to drive, but to watch a race on, it has been phenomenal so far. Let's give you a quick rundown. So Kettenen with a strong 10-second lead now. Only thing that's going to slow that down is a mistake or damage. So it's not over. Damage is on. These guys can't afford to slip at that chicane or anywhere really. We've got a great battle developing now between West on fresher tyres than Swoyle, but Swoyle has track position, and the longer he has track position, the more those super softs are going to wear down on West's car. West can't afford to be stuck. He may be suffering a little from ballast here. I've got to remember that. If I've got time, I'll quickly check the ballast for you. So Swoyle running 2%, West running 2%. These guys are pretty much even. The only thing separating them is Swoyle's tyres are far older than that Jag's. And I think we're going to see a developing battle towards these closing stages. I'm going to quickly flick back before the action kicks off. So Egerlanders 4th, T5 Black 5th. Now 14 seconds off the lead. He has kind of lost something like 8 seconds over the middle sector of the race, and maybe just not getting lucky with where those pit stops have shaken him out. Also suffering from the attacks of Egerlanders, who through pit stops now looks like he's got track position over T5 Black. T5 starting on pole position in this race, so I think he'll be feeling keen to try and recover what he can now. Probably expecting a podium if he can get it. Look out for the charge of Razor, who looks like he's now been caught up in a battle with Blackbird, who has kind of caught me out here by running up in 6th. Now he looks like he's good to go into the end, but a Razor with fresh super soft tyres, I think we're going to see an attack from this Lamborghini. Again, as far as I'm concerned, a Razor really doesn't have time to be sat behind these guys. If he wants a charge towards any more positions, he's going to have to pretty much pull it out of the bag right now. He's keen into the hairpin here, down to the Seaside section, but it's not enough. He's got to be patient. He can't throw it in there. He's going to risk damage to at least his own car, if not Blackbird. And you don't want to be digging out penalties at this case. Looks like clean runs for the leaders through the death chicane. I'm just going to check back on those guys because it looks like Swoyle is now backing West into the path of Egerlanders. And is that the pit stop? So Swoyle's had to give in. He didn't have the tyres to the end. He's done what he can. This is going to be a fast pit stop. Let's see where it shakes him out, because now we're starting to see the shape of the field into our final 5 to 6 laps. Is that 3 wide into turn 1? No, it's fine. Although that was quite a pit exit there. Was there an issue on the pit exit? I've missed it. No bother. We can... Blah, blah, blah. We didn't get that on replay, but we'll get on with it. Here we go. A Razor, as we expected, giving Blackbird an absolutely hellish time in these last laps. Not a split second to give. Now he needs a great run through the S's, up the hill, keep the power. Tries to avoid the Supra. He doesn't want to lose momentum. He needs to carry it now into the steep braking zone, into the right-hander. And it looks like he's got the grip. I think Blackbird accepting that the more these two fight, the more that the sister Lamborghini of Swoyle, who is shaken out in P7 but looks ready on his fresh tyres to pretty much help out. I take it back, it is not a sister Lamborghini, they're two separate teams. I thought for a second these were teammates. A Razor Team Redline, Swoyle Team Repsol. So these are rival Lamborghinis despite the similar paint jobs, but the closer I look, the more differences I can see. And that's a Razor still fighting. That's a move from Blackman. Can he make the outside work? There's contact. And I think... I'm going to try and show you that replay in a second, but I'm going to stay with the action here. This is almost a 3-car battle. We're still side by side. Blackbird gets the line into the hairpin, but there's a cutback now from a Razor. Swoyle in the second Lamborghini, not wasting a moment to try and steal the slipstream here, but Blackbird has the ideal line, defends it, and Eraser somehow shakes out in front there. I didn't see that coming. Let's just quickly go back to that. So let's go on board with Blackbird. Gets a brilliant run into turn one, gambles on the outside, and just breaks as deep as he dare. Holds it brilliantly. Oh, the curb unsettles him. This contact, I think, possibly backs out slightly just to make sure that Eraser remains the car in front. But oh, it's dangerous, dangerous stuff, and that corner boy is brilliantly done. Now somehow here Eraser makes it stick, and it's that undercut. And I think Blackbird's saying, hey, alright, we made contact, I'm not going to push you anymore. So very respectful stuff. Let's go back to the leader, Kettinen, now winding up for his final kind of 4 laps, I think. Yeah, 4 laps including this one. Now he is only 6.8 seconds from the ever-charging Egerlanders, who I've been pretty impressed by his pace. Now it doesn't look like he's got the legs to make a very late charge on Kettinen, so I think his focus is going to be fending off any pressure from T5 Black, who is more comfortable now in P3 now that Swoyle has had to go and make his final pit stop. Impressed. Unfortunately, guys, I think Twitch has been showing some really laggy behaviour. If it's a stream error, I'm going to look into it straight after this, so bear with me on that, guys. But we've had a very laggy day on Twitch, so I'll check the playback to see if that is a stream issue with Streamlabs or whether that is Twitch just having a day. And the 2 Lamborghinis showing that they're going to battle, and that is Swoyle making a cut there for P4. Are they going to survive the death chicane? Swoyle, we've already seen him hit that inside wall, but not this time. Let's try and show you that move again, guys. Over the brow. Flash of the lights. No, I think Swoyle didn't get it on the apex. He actually just makes incredible cutback, and then we see sideways there from Eraser, which compromises the exit. He has to concede by that point. Otherwise, that's too wide into a section that does not promote too wide racing. On board with Eraser, lap 36. This lap, 2 more to follow. What a move! Indeed. I have to say, it's been a pretty heated contest between Swoyle and Eraser for the boldest moves in this race. If there was a bold move race award, which there isn't. But maybe I've just invented it. Alright, quick chance to check through the field. Let's give some airtime to these guys. Tornroth, a strong 6th at the moment. Let's try and check his strategy. So, Warn super softs, good to run to the end, obviously. You wouldn't be expecting pit stops now. Now, the car behind, Gravender, again, looks like he's hung out on those tyres for a long time and is now in kind of like survival mode on those tyres. If he makes it stick, that is a surprise rise for me. I thought he was further back in the field. Maybe strategy has just worked out for him. So Lasazauja there, under pressure from Abramson, who we saw have a huge moment at the death chicane. A really unwelcome face palm of a moment there on camera. Hate to commentate as cursed people, but it happened. Gonna hope for a safe run through here. Looks like he's showing it full respect after that. Nicely rounding up the top 10 is Schlaffen. Now I'm wondering if something's happened to West. West now in P11. We did see some yellow flags earlier in the race that I could not track down quick enough. I'm wondering if West suffered from some kind of damage at that last section. Maybe it's a death chicane victim. He's down in 11th. We were expecting a top 5 there from that chap, so a feel for him there. Same with Blackbird, maybe running high based on strategy earlier, but it looks like a couple of cars have really suffered in that latter half of the race. Unfortunately, didn't get it all on camera if that was an event. Chio with a quiet run now, just kind of setting his pace. Looks pretty set for the race if there are no more mistakes. And then Fearpinen, again, he's kind of in his own race now. Whatever happened early, we didn't see it, unfortunately. But last week's race winner, just doing what he can to finish the run. Nothing you can do in the 2-minute gap. Very respectful driving. He's backed off. He's let the blue flags go. So that's given Kettinen what looks to be a really clean run onto his final lap. Beautiful drive so far. All he needs to do is keep his flow. He's got the fastest lap. 1:36.1 in the race. That's some pretty immense pace. Now he's already weaving. Maybe he knows he's on the cameras. If he is, keep it together, man. Unless someone hasn't told me that's the final lap. No, it looks like they are racing to the end. Good. Egelander's a strong second. Couldn't show anything to Kettinen in the end there. I think Kettinen's clear run was just too strong for even the fastest followers to battle. Now, T5 Black, surprise, surprise, Swoyle on that charge like we expected. Now, has he been cost time with those earlier battles? Has he got enough left in his tyres to make the position? This battle we're going to have to keep an eye on. Looks like he needs a stronger run out of there if he's going to make it stick. Let's cut back because I did see a side-by-side. Surely not around the outside there. Now, I'm going to try and stick with this, but let's keep in mind that our race leader only has a sector to go. Egelanders looks clear. This is the battle we need to watch right now. I'm going to stick with it as long as I can. Inside defensive line from T5. Does he have the tyres and the braking and the grip? Great defense, but again we've seen that cutback work, and potentially a Razor with the last ditch move through the chicane. I'll save a replay if we've got time to watch it. Beautiful move. Oh, and I didn't know if he was going to hold it. Brilliantly done, and just in time to catch Kettinen. Fantastic job. Beautiful drive. Flawless, I dare say. Cruises over the line. Really dominant display from the Talisman driver. He'll be chuffed with that today. Great drive. Second place for Egelanders, not in doubt. And Swoyle. Sorry, I was calling it on a Razor. It was Swoyle. My apologies there. A quick flashback, if I can, for you on that. There you go, it was Swoyle. I'm so sorry, Swoyle. I was giving all the credit to a Razor. It was Swoyle. The man who hit the death chicane first only went and recovered it to P4. Huge respect for that. Let's catch the final drivers. So Razor secures 5th. Tormroth crosses in 6th. Congratulations. Gravender with a brilliant 7th. Abramson could only manage 8th after that late mistake, but still a good drive. Lasajara in 9th. Schlaffer in 10th. West comes home in 11th. Chio 12th. So Chio ahead of Blackbird. Something there, I think, has happened to Blackbird. Not the ideal finish, if so. Congratulations to those guys. Amazing race. Unfortunately, we don't get to see that screen for more than half a second. Well done, Gran Turismo. You're still glitching. Well done, Kettinen. Genuinely awesome drive. Really kind of showed once he had clean air, he had the pace and the motivation to go. Thanks for the good feedback, guys. Really enjoyed commentating on that race. Let's bring up that final standing for you. I've only done 2 of these, but this one was a stunning race. This one's going to be hard to beat. Well, I hope it stays this good, guys. I'm going to need a spare voice, that's for sure. Listen to that growl appearing. It sounds like whiskey. And it's just Swedish racing at its finest. So that total time, just over the hour there. They must have snuck in that extra lap. Super racing concept showing its strength with Kettinen and Egelanders. Great strong run in the Huracan from Swoyle, who, I've said it more than once, did not get an ideal start to the race, recovered it to a podium. Black, I think, would have hoped for a podium there, but still a really good run in the second Team Talisman Supra. The Razor, second Lamborghini showed a lot of pace, some brilliant moves. And then running down Tornroth, fantastic. Let's just find out how many places some of these guys made, because I'm pretty amazed at the ground they've made here. So Tornroth started 10th, great result. Gravender started P13 up to 7. So that due to some of the events in this race, we've seen some guys fly through the field. Abramson drops a position from his start there in 8th, but still a really strong run. I think we'd have seen a top 5 maybe without that mistake. Lasazar just similarly plagued by mistakes, but keeps a solid P9 from his starting position. Schlafund 10th. He did well actually, started at the back row near enough, so made some good places. Wes, unfortunate, again another top runner there, just not having the luck. Chio probably lower than he'd hoped this race, but I think looked like a good solid run. And then Blackbird, Slayers and Fearpennon, we don't know what happened there, but I sure as heck can tell you after winning the last round he's going to be keen to come back on top of the standings in that other Huracan and spice up the car mix once again. Hey Swoil. Thanks man. Need an auto cue? Yes I do. I need something to track my brain. I lose track of the thoughts as I'm talking. Thank you so much everyone. Really appreciate you being here to watch this. It's been a really strong showing on the stream. Probably one of my strongest streams to date. I hope the commentary is good. It's something I don't do normally, but it's something I'm really enjoying. I'm going to congratulate these guys. And I'm going to tell them I no longer have a voice, because you can hear it, man.